This video is going to cover everything you need to know about textures and materials in Modstorm, including animating them just like you can see here in Tech Run. Let's do it! So I'm in this game Tech Run, and I've built this little spot where the jump becomes impossible to reach. So I need to create another platform to put there in order to make the jump. Well, since this video is about texture, I'm going to create a basic platform and show you all the different ways that you can manipulate the texture to create exactly what you're looking for. I'll go ahead and I'll drag in this cube, and I'm going to just bring it down a little bit. So I want this to be a little difficult, so I'm just going to go ahead and press it down and just expand it a little bit, and I'll just move it somewhere towards center. Give me 1 second here. Let me just test to see if this is a doable jump. Made it to this, and maybe not so doable. I think I need it to be a little higher. Alright, made it here, and so it's a doable jump. I made the jump, but you can look back at this platform and see how it just doesn't belong with the environment. The texture is off, it just doesn't look right. So I'm going to show you all the options you have with making your textures look exactly how you want them to look and make this platform match this scene. So I've headed back into the editor, and we're going to go over here and select this platform. Now first thing I'm going to do is scroll down to find the materials. Right here, materials. Now there's already a lot of materials that have been made in this game. So you can see in my drop down I have a bunch that I can choose for. Some of them already animate. Cool? But in your case, you probably do not have any. So I'm going to show you how to start from having none. Let's go ahead and hit create. I'm going to name this one underscore Mac. Underscore Knack. Not sure why that comes to me, but underscore Knack it is. Next you have right here is the texture that you want to select. Let's go ahead and select that. And for this game, I need something that is a little bit more techy. So I'm going to choose this one. There. And now my platform kind of matches the scene a lot more. But there's more. There's a lot more we can do with this. Let's go down the line and look at all these really cool settings that you can do with your textures. First of all, you can lower the opacity of your textures to make your object appear a little bit more see-through. Next, we have the Use Custom Scale. With this check, you're able to determine how much of the texture is displayed on your object. Let's check it out. Once you check it, you'll see that you have a little bar here that you can scale to determine how much of the texture is shown on your object. You can have a lot of the texture, or you can have a small amount. I'm going to set it back to 1. In fact, I'm also just going to uncheck this. Next, we have the environment map. Now this one is my favorite. With the environment map off, look what happens when I look at the texture. Yeah, just looks pretty plain, pretty simple. With the environment map on, it now reflects the environment in the texture. Now this is pretty sweet. I'm going to leave this one on. Next, we have the PBR. Last I checked, that meant physically based rendering. There was a site that was called Free PBR that I used to visit, and I noticed that all the materials in there came out a lot more realistic, a lot more detailed. But in this case, I don't think we're going to mess with that. Let's just continue below. So we're going to skip the specular and the sprite sheet and go down to the moving texture. Now this is what we're looking for if we want the texture to animate. Let's check the moving texture, and once you check it, you can see right here it's asking you how much degrees in direction do you want it to animate and the amount of seconds. Mine is set to 0, but for some reason it's already started, and then the amount of seconds, as in the speed. So I can tell it to do a full 360, or I can tell it to do a 180. And so now it's going the opposite direction. So I think setting it to 0 looks like it defaults to more of a 360 to me. What if we simply say 90 degrees? Now it's going this way. What if I said negative 90? It should go the other way. So you can see how this works. This can be kind of trippy, and I will make it go this way just to trip the player up a little bit. And if I wanted to animate faster, I can set this number to maybe 5. And now that is ridiculous. One other thing I want to mention is that I set it to 2, and 2 seems a little bit too fast, but I've set it to 1, and then 1 seems a little bit too slow. This is using a float, which means you can use a partial number in this field. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll set it not 1, not 2, but right in between. So I'll put a 1.5, and there. That looks way better. I honestly feel like I'm about to fall off just because it's moving. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to this tutorial. Hopefully you learned something here about textures and how to manipulate them, how to make them look cool. Go ahead, apply this to your own project, and make your textures amazing. I missed.